What's going on, guys? This is Kaishro. Welcome back. So we are back with another video. On this video, we're going to tackle our Tenpai Dragon deck profile that I have used on our Kaidubilis Weekly Tournament. And I have won first place on the tournament without dropping any games. And I only have one draw on the tournament. So without further ado, let's start. So this Tenpai Dragon is prep or catered towards the metagame post WCQ Asia Finals and Japan Championship, and I think this is the best that I could do for this deck right now. So yeah, without further ado, let's start. So moving on our main deck, I only have 40 card main deck. I wouldn't want to run more over 40. So we do have 2 Dora Draco. So I'm really speculating if I would have dropped the second copy of Dora Draco in replacement of the third copy of my Pydra. But yeah, I feel like that Dora Draco can still be advantageous on certain occasions where you have to synchro faster and also have access towards the Genroku. So, 2 Dora Draco. Next, we do have triple Chundra. So, of course, Chundra, one of the best dragons in our deck. So, this is mandatory at 3. And next, we do have double Pydra. So, I'm thinking if I would cut the Wandora Draco in replacement of the third copy of Pydra. But let's see. I'm going to still test this deck and update you guys if I have made my mind on the third copy of Pydra. But for now, it is only at 2. Next, we do have double Genroku. So, the second Genroku doesn't come up on any kind of scenario. But sometimes on late game, yeah, it could matter. But for me, I often side out the second copy of Genroku on this deck. And I would rely only on Pydra and Dora Draco to have access towards the copy of Genroku. So, yeah, 2 Genroku only. And next, we do have 1 Fadra. So, some people are playing double Fadra. But for me, I don't need the second copy because it is too cluggy and sometimes it could break when you draw the second copy of the Fadra. And you often search this card most of the time. So, only one is enough. Next, going towards our hand traps, we do have Triple Ash Blossom. Of course, mandatory. And next, we do have Triple Maxi, of course. Another mandatory card here. We wouldn't want to run less copies of Maxi. And next, we do have Triple Veiler. So, I'm also thinking if I would run 2 Veiler only. But yeah, 3 is generally good when you don't know what you're going to be against. And the meta is quite diverse as well right now, except for the top 3 best decks, which are Yubel Finsmith and Rescue Ace Finsmith and the Snake Eyes Finsmith. So other than that, the format is has a lot of variety. So yeah, I opted to play 3 Veiler. And next, we do have Triple Droll. Of course, our savior and grace against the Finsmith decks. We wouldn't survive the format if we're playing 2 or 1 copy of Droll in our main deck. So 3 Droll is the correct for me. And next, we do have double Nibiru. So another good card, bunch of rogue decks and combo decks into the metagame right now. So I opted to play double Nibiru into my main deck, and also you could draw it off from Maxi. And next, we do have double Bell. So I often side out the Bell on a lot of matchups. I often think that the Bell here is quite underperforming, but I don't have any cards in my mind to replace the 2 copies of Bell. So I ran with 2 Bell. And next, we do have double DD Crow. So DD Crow, very good card into the metagame right now. You could banish the Luri and other stuff in the graveyard like Flamberge, Ivy Masquerena, Engraver. Most of the top tier decks are going to rely on their graveyard resource. So the DD Crow is very essential here. So 2 copies of DD Crow. And next, we do have 2 Shifter, of course. Before, I was not a fan of Shifter on Tenpai Dragon, but I realized that whenever I could resolve Shifter on my standby phase and my opponent cannot do something like Maxi or they couldn't contain my barrage of attacks the next turn, I think I would comfortably win the game from there. So yeah, I think Shifter is good here into the main deck. Next would be one Bestial Magnamut. So Magnamut is really insane here on Tenpai Dragon. Very good card against the top 3 best decks, namely the Finsmith trio. But I think the Bestial Magnamut does have a lot of coverage into the metagame right now. Voiceless Voice, Chimera, Unchained Finsmith, all of those tier 2 to tier 3 decks are going to be suffocated from the Magnamut, and the Magnamut can also get you the Genroku. So you have a lot of resources coming from one Magnamut. And next could be one Mourner. So I copied this one Mourner tech on Tasuku, a very strong and the top player of Master Duel in Japan. So his logic is always playing one Mourner into his main deck because you have a lot of chance to draw it off from Maxi, and sometimes your cards like Imperm or other cards doesn't really do too much when you draw it off from Maxi, like Droll or Imperm. So one Mourner could give you peace of mind that you are going to draw on a very valuable hand trap coming from Maxi. So I am going to be a huge fan of that methodology from Tasuku, and I'm going to adapt it on this Tenpai Dragon with one Mourner. And moving towards our spell, we do have 3 Sangen Kaimen. Of course, Sangen Kaimen, the best card of Tenpai Dragon right now. And next, we do have one field spell, the Sangen Summoning. It is very regretful that we are only playing one Sangen Summoning, but it is rightfully deserving. It is a very obnoxious and powerful card, so it is very deserving to be at R1. Next would be one Terraforming, our second copy of the field spell. And the last cards on our main deck would be triple Imperm, very generic. You wouldn't want to risk playing without Imperm. So 3 Imperm is mandatory here for me. Moving towards our extra deck, so we do have the 2 Biden. So Biden, of course, we want to run 2 of these. Next, we do have one Transcentric Dragon. I forgot the name. So the best card on our extra deck, arguably. And next, we do have Trident Dragon, our OTK machine. And next, we do have Black Rose, of course, and Black Rose Moonlight, the duo of Black Rose. And next, we do have one Adai Smitcher Burst. So very strong on the Tenpai Mirror match, and you would want to rely on this card as early as possible when you don't have access towards the Synchro 10, the Transcendric Dragon. So you're going to rely on this and stop the opponent's Tenpai from doing anything from the battle phase. So it is really good here. I prefer this over the Samurai Destroyer for some reason, because it is a Fire Dragon. So and next would be Barone. Generic, very generic. There's a reason why Barone is banned in the TCG. So and next we do have the Link. Of course, Heretic Seal, our saving grace when our opponent lets us go first. So Seals pass for the win. And next we do have Striker Dragon, just to Link climb into Little Knight. Of course, Little Knight, very insane card. I don't know how this card is printed any at all. And next we do have the Charmer Link. Of course, we are going to run into fire decks, even though they have lesser popularity right now because of the dominance of Yubel. We're going to still fight a lot of fire decks. Like in my experience, I have fought against Salamangreat and Mirror Match as well. So the Charmer here is really strong. Next, moving towards our fusion, we do have Garura and Madragon. Spoiler alert, I'm playing Super Poly. I'm not really sure if I have made the correct choice in playing Super Poly. I haven't had any circumstance that Super Poly is beneficial to me. Maybe I'm going to replace this Super Poly package into this Tenpai Dragon. But it definitely works on some decks like Yubel, Voiceless Voice. But right now, I'm not really a big fan of Super Poly. And I'm going to see if I have other hand traps in my mind to replace the Super Poly in my side deck. So I can free 2 slots in my extra deck for something like another synchro like the Samurai Destroyer and one generic Link. Maybe if I could have extra money to buy Promethean, I would definitely run Promethean on this. But sadly, it is very expensive right now. Next would be the Typhoon. This is the MVP of the tournament. I have won a lot of games against combo decks using the Typhoon. Once my opponent have depleted my resources and my effects from the Pydra from the Sangen Kaimen, I would rely on Typhoon to stall out the game and probably top deck Sangen Kaimen or another Tenpai name to win the game from there. So yeah, very insane card. I'm not really a huge fan of Typhoon before, but I have now found the essence and the reliability of this Typhoon in my extra deck. Next, our side deck would be Double Phantasmi. I am really glad that I have played Phantasmi over other cards here on my extra deck because before I was thinking if I could run Pankrataps or other board breakers or other floodgates, yeah, when going first, but I have opted to play Phantasmi due to the popularity of this card from the WCQ Asia Finals and also on the Japanese Championship recently, and it is very pivotal to get card advantages from draw, even though the +1 or +2 is kinda weak, no, on some occasion and not that huge, but for me it definitely matters a lot when you are playing a deck like Tenpai Dragon with one card combo and you are going to get extra hand trap to interrupt the opponent later on. Especially the format is very explosive like Yubel and Snake Eyes, so you would want to have a lot of hand traps and you also have protection from Phantasmi. So probably the best card on my side deck and heavily performed on the tournament. And next would be our search target for Magnamut, the Druid's Worm. And next, we do have double change of heart. So, I'm not really sure if I have made the correct call if I play change of heart. And I think there are other cards that could be here, but change of heart is really strong against Yubel. And if the Yubel doesn't end on Omni-Negate and other decks that didn't opt to make the Barone or something Veldrat on their board, so change of heart is really free. And I'm going to snatch the Pulusa and Little Knight, other really huge boss monsters. So change of heart is definitely nice here when it works. Next would be double forbidden droplet. Before I was playing 3 droplet, but I have opted to mitigate the copies of droplet into 2 because drawing to droplet is not that good, and also I think that some decks doesn't really need droplet, and this is very costly on my hand card. If I didn't resolve Maxi, I would definitely struggle playing droplet because the hand cards are very important on this Tenpai Dragon. And next would be the Super Poly. So this is a card that didn't perform any at all in that tournament. So yeah, I think I'm going to replace this moving forward, but yeah, can be good on rogue decks and other sleeper decks matchups. Next would be Lightning Storm. I want to respect the back row as much as possible because I have lost against the meta beat or anti-meta before, and I think it leaves a sour taste in my mouth, and I wouldn't want to lose on a single border or patchy anymore and a single floodgate. So yeah, I played a lot of back row removal into my side deck right now with double Lightning Storm. Versatile as well, can definitely sweep the Link monsters into the board. So yeah, I played this Lightning Storm. Next would be Feather Duster, of course, mandatory here as Tenpai Dragon, of course. And next would be Heavy Storm, the second copy of Duster. Basically, that's the sole reason why I played Heavy Storm, to get rid of Macro. And next would be Cross Out Designator. So this is the newest addition on my side deck. And this copy of Cross Out replaced the copy of Droplet that I am playing before. So I have thought that if I run into Mirror Match or other decks that runs a lot of hand traps, mid-range decks, and yeah, we do have Centurion on our meta game, and other hand trap decks like Salamangreat. So the Crossout definitely has a lot of value towards those decks when you're going to run against Ash Blossom, Veiler, Imperm, and those hand traps can be really hurtful to your Pydra. And of course, we only have one Sangen Summoning, so we don't have protection from those hand traps. So one cross out is definitely a card that I'm going to side in if I'm going second 100%. And the last card on our side deck would be Red Reboot, of course. We're going to respect the back row. This is Philippines. This is the land of the meta beat. We have an Asia Finals from Francis Amoroso. Yeah, that won the tournament. and won it by Metabit, and the rest is history. Many people have adopted that philosophy, and also Metabit is very cheap. So we are going to see a lot of Floodgate and Backrow decks on small local tournaments and a bunch of different communities in the Philippines. So Red Reboot. So yeah, that sums up our Tenpai Dragon deck profile. If you have enjoyed this video and found this video informative, please consider subscribing into my YouTube channel. It definitely motivates me a lot to keep going and provide this quality content to you guys. So thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.